Jed, are you gonna let Ellie keep that beaver?
Why?
Because that rascal took all of my firewood and built a dam across a cement pond.
Well, afraid that's the nature of the critter.
But Granny wanted me to start a fire under her kettle out back so she could cook applesauce. But now the firewood's wet.
Trying to think Granny's changed her mind. I just seen her coming out of her room and she was all gussied up to a fairly well.
Bet she's fixing to see Mr. Farquhar.
She has kind of perked up since he come to town.
Jethro, did you get the fire going under my applesauce kettle?
No, ma'am.
Well, get out and get at it.
But, Granny, the wood's wet.
Well, build a fire and dry it out.
Hey, that's a good idea. Thank you.
I declare, Jed, that boy.
Hey, Granny, if the wood's wet, how can I start a...
Granny, you're mighty fancied up for applesauce making, ain't you?
Well, the smell of it cooking generally brings a neighbor or two.
Like Mr. Farquhar?
Who?
Mr. Ideal Paul.
Oh. Oh, the old gentleman from Boston. Is he still visiting next door?
I reckon he is, seeing as how we only got here yesterday.
Uh-huh. Warm up your coffee?
Thank you. He seems to be a gentleman of high quality.
Who's that?
Mr. Farquhar?
You still talking about him?
Well, I was, but I can change the subject. I see by the news that we're having an unusual warm spell. Weatherman says it might last through the week.
I hear he's a widower.
Who's that?
Hello. Mr. Farquhar, whatever his name is.
That's it. Low Redlings Farquhar. That's a grand name, isn't it?
I suppose so. So we're in for a warm spell, are we?
That's what the weatherman says. Matter of fact, Ellie Mae's in swimming.
I bet he ain't used to it being so warm.
Mr. Farquhar?
Now, there you go again. Just can't stay on one subject, can you?
Well, Milburn, how would you like to invest some money?
In what?
I have a little property up in Las Vegas.
You have property in Las Vegas?
Yes, one of the hotels there is holding my suitcase.
Forget it. Now, look, you stay away from Las Vegas. They'll only take you to the cleaners again.
Ah, no, not this time. I've worked out a system. All I need is financing, and I'll make a killing.
You leaving so soon, Milburn?
Yes, I have to be getting to the office.
Yeah, I'll be down to see you later, Milburn. We'll discuss a little financial business.
Oh, Milburn, what an honor. Daddy very seldom lowers himself to discuss money. You should be deeply touched.
I'm sure I will be.
Daddy, it's so kind of you to let Milburn's bank handle your transactions.
Well, if I'm going to give someone the business, it might as well be Milburn. Margaret, what is it? Do you smell smoke?
Yes. Oh, it's those dreadful Clampetts. They built a fire beside the swimming pool again.
What for?
Oh, Granny is always cooking some vile thing out there. Soap or sorghum.
$50 million and she makes her own soap?
They don't spend their money. Have you noticed Ellie Mae?
Oh, yes.
Have you noticed how she runs around in those faded old blue jeans?
Yes. Tight, aren't they?
What?
Tight. No, as you say, they don't spend their money.
I'm going over there and demand that they extinguish that fire immediately.
No, Margaret, no. You're too much of a lady. This calls for a man. I'll go over and speak with him.
That's brave of you, Daddy. But they're such boorish, illiterate people. I don't know how much of them you'll be able to take.
Well, you have my assurance, dear, that I'll take as much as I can. See you later.
Okay, you sure look pretty. Is that a new hat? Of course not. This is the hat I wore when your grandpa proposed to me.
Morning, Mr. Farquhar.
Hello, Jethro. Well, good morning, beautiful. How's the water?
It'll be boiling in a minute now. But don't be so bold. There's a young one right there in the pond.
Oh, yes. Good morning, Ellie Mae.
Good morning, Mr. Farquhar. Ain't Granny pretty? Now, Ellie Mae, you stop that. Well, you are, Granny. Well, if Mr. Farquhar thinks I'm pretty, he'll say so himself.
Huh? Oh, you are. I certainly can see where Ellie Mae gets her good looks.
You can?
Yes. She's probably one of the most beautiful young ladies I've ever seen.
Thank you.
And that figure.
Now, Mr. Farquhar, you stop that. You'll have me blushing.
Oh, yes.
Now, you run along and get into some clothes. Yes'm, Granny. See you later, Mr. Farquhar?
Definitely.
Back home in the hills, if a man was to see a girl dressed like that, he'd have to marry her.
That's a fine custom.
I'm glad you think the way we do.
Yes, I do. Granny, could I talk with you a moment?
Why, yes. Sit down.
Thank you. Granny, I know that you have a lot of money. But, are you having any fun with it? I mean, are you happy?
Well, I could be happier. What you got on your mind?
It seems to me that you and I could have a lot of fun. And at our ages, we should take our fun where we find it.
You slobbered a bib full there, Lowell.
What was that?
What were you saying?
Well, if you are willing to take a chance, Granny, it seems to me that,
Yoo-hoo, Daddy!
I'm out up here, daughter. We'll continue this later on in the day, huh?
I see the fire is out.
Just till later in the day.
I warn you, not the fire, Farquhar. Come, Daddy.
Oh, Margaret, I really don't want to go.
Come, Daddy. I marry that man, our daughter's gonna get the paddling of her life. How long you aim to sit here with this gun?
Oh, I don't know. Why?
Well, if somebody was to come calling, you might scare him off. Especially an elderly city fella that's not used to our ways. Somebody in the neighborhood just visiting from out of town.
You mean like Mr. Farquhar?
Now, what made you think of him?
Just a wild guess.
Granny? Granny, I finally got your kindling wood for you. Remember that cider keg I had down the cellar?
Why, there was a good 5 gallons of cider left in that keg.
I know. That's what took me so long. Couldn't let it all go to waste. Yes, ma'am?
Put that keg back together again.
Well, what about the applesauce fire?
Ain't gonna make no applesauce. Now, do as I tell you.
Yes, ma'am.
Not in front of the door. Suppose company was to come.
Like Mr. Farquhar?
Now, who said anything about Mr. Farquhar?
Don't reckon you're all dressed up like that for the trash collector.
You got a big mouth, boy.
Why, thank you. You pretty near got to drink 5 gallons of cider out of a keg.
Hey, everybody, look at this. I learned old Hiram to be a watchdog. Show him what you'll do if a stranger comes around.
What have I done to deserve this?
Well, shucks, Granny. Old Hiram just wants to earn his keep.
Well, get him out of here.
Hear that, Hiram? Go guard the place.
What's the use? Jeb Stewart and his cavalry couldn't get through to me, let alone poor little Mr. Farquhar.
Mr. Farquhar?
I didn't say that. I was just using him as a for instance.
I think Mr. Farquhar's got a case on you, Granny.
Hey, Granny, are you going to marry up with him?
Bet you so. She was sidling up to him like a bird to a honey tree.
Jed, do I have to sit here and listen to this?
Of course not. Now, young'uns, no more talk about Mr. For Instance.
You don't think you're so smart. Well, I have news for you. Somebody's going to be leaving home soon.
Granny, you ain't leaving home.
You bet I ain't. But you and these big-mouth young'uns is. And you can take that big mouth with you, too.
Do you get the feeling that Granny'd like us to make ourselves scarce?
I don't. She told me to fix this cat. I'm getting a feeling, Uncle Jim.
Let's take a drive into town.
Granny, when do you want us to come back?
I'll call you and let you know.
Well, how will you know where we are?
I'll ask you when I call.
Oh.
You go with them. You want to tangle with me? He's coming. Oh, I look awful. Land sakes, it's still got gravy in it. Why, Mr. Farquhar, what a surprise.
Oh, well, should I have phoned first?
Well, if I knowed you was coming, I'd have fixed up a bit.
Nonsense, you look fine.
Would you like some coffee?
Do you have any tea?
Any kind you can say. Sassafras, horse mint, alfalfa.
I'm afraid I'm not familiar with those.
I'll throw together my special mix for you.
Fine, fine. Where is the rest of the family?
Who knows? Out gallivanting as usual.
And you're here all alone, huh?
Oh, I get used to being lonely. Your family kind of loses interest in you when you're over 50. Sit down, Lowell.
Oh, thank you, Granny.
Call me Daisy.
Daisy, I realize we only met yesterday. This is going to seem awfully sudden.
It might not. Try me.
But I sensed immediately that you and I were birds of a feather, both looking for a little excitement in the autumn of our lives.
I hear you talking.
Are you like me, not afraid to take a chance, to gamble a little?
Heck, Fire Lowell, at our age, every day's a gamble. I figure if I wake up in the morning, I'm a winner.
That's the spirit. Daisy, I have a proposal to make.
Yes, Lowell.
You and I could become partners.
Yes.
Put our fortunes together.
Yes.
Go up to Las Vegas.
Yes. Daddy, let him finish.
Don't tell me you're fraternizing.
Oh, Margaret,
He's been a perfect gentleman.
Daddy, come home at once.
But I was invited to have tea.
We can have tea at home.
You gonna let her drag you off like this?
Well, I'm her guest, living under her roof.
Daddy!
We'll continue our discussion later.
Let me call you back, John. My secretary's gone and there's someone in the outer office. Right. Bye.
Oh, hello, Milburn, my boy. How'd you like to play a game of blackjack?
Forget it.
I'll show you the system I'm going to use when I get to Las Vegas.
You can forget that, too, because you're not going to get a dime out of me, not a penny.
Oh, I've got my financing for Las Vegas. A rich widow.
Really?
Yeah, we're forming a partnership.
Ah, good luck.
You don't object?
Why should I? Her money isn't in my bank.
Is it? As a matter of fact, it is.
You don't mean Granny.
Yeah, I call her Daisy. She called me Lowell. Wait.
We can help, Uncle Artis.
Wait a minute now, please, Milburn. I'm wearing my best suit.
Hi, Mr. Drysdale. Hey, Pa, look, here's Mr. Farquhar.
Excuse me.
Where? Mr. Clampett, wait. No violence, please. He's going right back to Boston.
Mr. Farquhar?
Yes, I promise you he will never see Granny again.
Well, that's bad news. I just come over here to tell you how pleased I am about him and Granny.
Pleased?
Pleased as punch. I ain't seen Granny so happy since she left the hills.
But he'll spend Granny's money.
Well, good. She sure ain't spending none of it. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to see Mr. Farquhar and try to talk him out of going back to Boston.
Oh, me too. And together we can do it. Oh, I'm so glad you like my father-in-law.
Well, for a fact, what's more important, Granny likes it.
Oh, he's a fine old gentleman. Daddy Farquhar, where are you?
Well, he's in there.
Daddy Farquhar. Mr. Clampetts here to see you. Come out, you darling old man.
You're not angry with me, are you, Mr. Clampett?
Shucks, no. I'm just hoping you won't go back to Boston.
Oh, he won't. He won't. Mr. Clampett knows about you and Granny, and he approves.
You bet I do. Now, why don't you come home with me? I know Granny's looking for you.
Margaret told me.
I'll take care of Margaret. You go with the money. Mr. Clampett.
Come on, Ellie. We've been looking all over for you, Granny.
Mr. Farquhar, come home with us.
He's waiting in the parlor right now.
I think he's going to ask you for your hand.
I'll lay out your courting dress.
I'll entertain Mr. Farquhar.
I'll stir your applesauce for you.
Just hold everything, everybody. I have decided I ain't gonna marry Mr. Farquhar.
What?
Why not?
'Cause I've come to my senses, that's why not. I've been acting like a bubble-headed schoolgirl. No demand 24 hours, and I was ready to elope with him to Las Vegas. Shame on me.
Ow! Why'd you hit me?
'Cause I'm mad and you're handy.
It's going to be an awful blow to Mr. Farquhar. All the way home, he was talking about going to Las Vegas with you.
Yeah, he said with you behind him, there was no limit to what he could do.
He should know better himself, a man of his age, letting his head be turned by a pretty face.
Well, maybe you ought to postpone it for a while to get to know each other better.
No, it wouldn't work, Ted. I could never get along with that daughter of his. Spiteful woman.
Ow! Well, you can't just let him sit in the parlor and stew.
Well, I'll go talk to him. Stir my sauce, Jethro.
Yes, ma'am.
Want me to lay out your courting dress?
No, Ellie, it's gonna be hard enough on him as it is. No use busting them up all together. Anxious little fella. He's gonna want to leave on that honeymoon tonight. Sure as shooting.
Oh, here you are.
Lowell, let's make this quick and merciful. I know you're all head up to go, but I can't run off to Las Vegas with you.
Oh. Well, then, supposing I go along without you.
Go without me?
And I can call you every night and tell you how I'm doing.
Lowell, I don't know how you do things in Boston, but from where I come from, you don't phone in your honeymoon.
Honeymoon?
Well, you didn't ask me to go to Las Vegas just to look at the scenery, did you?
No, but...
Well, then start explaining.
Yes, I guess I'd better. Well, you see, Daisy, the last time I was in Las Vegas, I met up with a lot of bad luck, and I thought maybe that it...
All the dad-blame nerve. Wanting me to put up money for his gambling. Got more cheek than a fat hog.
Granny, how'd he take it?
Oh, terrible, Jed. Busted his heart. Left him in there crying his eyes out.
Went hard on him, huh?
He's all tore up.
Granny, I think he done the right thing.
Just hope he don't do nothing foolish. He's awful desperate.
I best go check on him.
Oh, Mr. Clampett. I suppose Granny told you what happened?
Yeah, I reckon you're pretty disappointed.
Yes, I surely am. Mr. Clampett, would you like to go to Las Vegas with me?
No?
I'll find someone.
About as desperate as anybody I ever seen. What's all the commotion?
Well, Jethro's looking for us. Went tearing all through the parlor. Want me to go catch him?
No, you might as well let him make the circle through the kitchen. He'll be back.
Uncle Jed! Granny! Ellie Mae! Uncle Jed! Granny! Ellie Mae! Uncle Jed!
I hear Jethro calling.
Yes'm, Granny. He's circling through the house looking for us.
Best clear the doorway, Granny. He'll come tearing through there any minute.
No, he won't. I just scrubbed the library floor and locked the door so nobody could track us.
Uncle Jed! Greatest news for you. I'm gonna be on Jethro.
You just busted through the door.
I did? I wondered what that noise was. Let me tell you about the news. I finally decided on my life's calling.
Again?
This time it's for sure. I mean, this job is a natural.
Well, what is it?
I'm gonna be a 5-star general. 5-star general. That's the highest there is.
I thought you had your heart set on being a double-note spy.
Not no more. Why, everybody and their dog has took up spying. But there's only one or maybe 2 5-star generals in the whole country.
You think you can be one, huh?
Well, Uncle Jed, I'm cut out for it. Well, I got everything it takes. Leadership ability, a cool, alert mind, and unusual intelligence.
Jed, this is all that is worth saving of that door. The rest is just kindling.
Yeah, Jethro's kind of wrought up. He just stumbled onto his last calling again.
What is it this time?
I'm gonna be a general in the army.
Not ours, I hope.
Found some more, Granny.
Here, boy. Fill the door around this stuff.
Yeah, right now, Granny. Got to commence packing for West Point.
West Point?
What's that?
Well, that's where you learn to be a general. It's what you call a military school.
Are you aiming to spend the rest of your life in school? You done graduated from the 6th grade.
But at West Point, you learn soldiering, too.
Sound like the boy's been studying up on the place. Whereabouts is this West Point?
Well, I don't know.
Well, how you expect to find it?
I don't know that either.
Well, even if you do find it, how you know they'll take you in?
Because like I told you, I got everything they's looking for. Leadership ability, a cool, alert mind, and unusual intelligence. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just so we can write your ma, maybe we better find out a little more about this West Point.
Well, maybe Mr. Drysdale can help us.
Likely he could. Let's go see him.
Oh, can I go to West Point, too?
Ellie Mae, West Point is full of soldiers.
Well, Pa, can I go to West Point, too?
Forget it, Ellie. What a bunch of soldiers gonna want with a girl around?
I just gotta have a talk with that boy. Looks like Mr. Drysdale's asleep.
No, he's just relaxing. After lunch, he likes to put a soothing pack on his eyes. Chief. Mr. Drysdale.
Gina.
Chief, wake up.
Oh, what a wonderful dream. I was all alone with Gina Lola Brigida.
Chief.
She made $500,000 deposit. Mr. Clampett, Jethro, come in.
Sorry to bother you, Mr. Drysdale.
No, it's always a pleasure. What can I do for you?
Well, Jethro here has got a favor he'd like to ask you.
Well, you just ask away, anything at all.
I'd like to go to West Point.
Well, that's no problem. West Point?
You, Jethro?
Why, ain't it a good school?
Yes, it's one of the finest schools in the world.
Well, boy, it looks like you made a good choice. Can you fix it for him to get in, Mr. Drysdale?
Well, Mr. Clampett, in order for a young man to enter West Point, he has to have, it must... Explain, Miss Hathaway.
Well, first of all, the scholastic requirements for qualification are exceedingly stringent. He must have a great deal of academic preparation.
Are you saying it takes a heap of schooling to get in?
Exactly.
Well, boy, here you're sticking with it clean through the 6th grade is finally going to pay off.
Well, you don't have to go to West Point to learn soldiering, but there's an excellent military academy right here in Beverly Hills, Havenhurst.
How's that sound to you, boy?
Well, gee, I kind of got my heart set on going to West Point.
But Havenhurst is so handy. West Point is 3,000 miles away.
3,000? Gee, if I went there, I'd just about have to give up Granny's cooking, wouldn't I?
Would be a long way to tote lunch, yeah.
Can I get to be a 5-star general at Havenhurst?
Believe me, Jethro, you have a better chance there than you would have at West Point.
Okay, I'll go.
Well, thank you, Mr. Drysdale. Jethro and me will go over and get him joined up.
No, let me prepare them first. I want to see if they're prepared to give Jethro the finest military training.
Shucks, it don't have to be so fine, just so long as I can get to be a 5-star general.
Well, let me take care of everything, and I'll keep in touch with you.
Hey, well, thank you kindly. Bye, Miss Jean.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, Granny, looks like this boy's going to be back in school real soon now.
Military school. Mr. Drysdale's getting me in.
It's right here in Beverly Hills.
I can eat at home. How soon will this mess be ready, Granny?
What did you call my victuals?
Oh, that's military talk. When us officers eat, we call it a mess. And this here is what you call a mess hall. And you are the head mess maker.
Granny ain't interested in military talk now. Why don't you get ready for school?
Okay, but I'm awful hungry. What time is mess call, Granny?
She'll let you know. Get going.
Well, I'd appreciate it if somebody'd blow a bugle. That's what they do in the military.
Kid Clampett, you take my word for it. More schooling is going to be the ruination of that boy.
Now, Granny.
He's got so much book learning in his head now, there's no room left in it for any sense.
But this is a military school. Little taste of Army life ain't gonna hurt him.
That boy never took a little taste of nothing. You heard him say he wants to be a general.
Oh, he might be cut out for it. You got the feet for marching and the mouth for giving orders.
All right, kid. From now on, this is your worry. I'm staying out of it.
Okay.
But it's you who have to explain to his ma.
Explain what?
Never mind. This is your worry. I'm staying out.
Okay.
But it's you who'll have to dry her tears, not me.
Here?
Now, don't try and pump me. I'm staying out of it.
Yeah, I gotta remember that.
40 acres of weeds from the poorhouse window is a mighty sad end.
Paul, Jethro says he's going to a military school right here in Beverly Hills.
Yep.
Just a minute, Ellie. Your pa wants to ask me something.
No, I don't.
Well, that's your worry. I'm staying out. You don't?
It's a school called Havenhurst, Ellie. According to Mr. Drysdale, it's a dandy.
Well, can I go over there with him and maybe I can meet some fellas?
Sitting in the poorhouse window. That's where Pearl's gonna be.
What's she talking about?
She'll let us know. Well, quick as Jethro gets acquainted, he'll likely fetch some fellas home with him.
Looking out at her 40 acres of weeds.
What does that mean?
There's a way to find out quick. Come on, Ellie, let's go call Mr. Drysdale.
'Cause her only boy won't be coming home to work them 40 acres that she's always counted on. He'll be going to school, learning to be a Beverly Hills general.
Pearl's sold off them 40 acres of weeds 5 years ago and made a pot full of money.
Well, that's your worry. I'm staying out of it.
Yeah, I forgot.
What do you mean you couldn't get him in? Now, I gave my word to Judge Clampett, and when I give my word, I expect you to keep it.
I did my best, Chief. I pleaded with the commandant, but he was adamant. Jethro will have to come in for a personal interview and take the standard entrance examination.
Baloney.
But the commandant said...
Oh, nuts to the commandant. He's used to pushing little kids around. Well, let's see what happens when somebody looks him in the eye and tells him where to head in. Now, get back there and try. I'm going to lunch.
Chief, please.
What now, Miss Hathaway? What now? I've told you what to do and how to do it. What more do you want?
I want you to do it. After all, it was your idea.
Well, there you are. I've done the executive thinking. I've created the master plan. Now, it's up to you.
Chief, we have been through that. I am not going back.
Are you disobeying a direct order?
Yes.
Miss Hathaway, need I remind you that it's almost Christmas bonus time?
Mr. Drysdale, I have been with you for 10 years, and you have never yet given anyone a Christmas bonus.
Well, is this any way to get me to start? All right, I'll do it myself. If you need me, I'll be at Havenhurst, in the office of the commandant, chewing him out.
Come in. Captain Harry Hogan reporting his orders, sir.
At ease, Captain Hogan. Now then, as you know, in the forthcoming tactical field exercises, Havenhurst will be opposing Lexington Academy.
Yes, sir.
We will be the Blue Army, they will be the Red Army.
Yes, sir.
Captain Hogan, I have chosen you to take personal command of the 1st Squad, which will spearhead our defense of Beverly Hills.
Thank you, sir.
You deserve it. Your grades have been outstanding. Now then, step around here and we'll discuss tactics.
Yes, sir.
Now, the Red Army, Lexington, will be coming in through Franklin Canyon and will launch their simulated attack in this sector. Now, we will have to find a suitable defense perimeter somewhere around here. Let me get another map, and I can give you the grid coordinates.
Yes, sir.
Let's get something straight.
But, sir...
You speak when I give you permission. Now, I have a boy I went enrolled in this school, and don't give me any hogwash about entrance exams and personal interviews. Is that clear? Perfectly. Hey, kid, your voice is changing.
Who are you, sir, and what do you want?
Oh, but you're... He's... Oh, I guess I must have missed it.
Yes, you did. I am Colonel Hollis.
I'm Milburn Drysdale, sir.
Any matters involving enrollment must come through me.
Well, couldn't I talk to him? He seems very confident. What? Well, I know how busy you are, sir, running this fine school.
I believe I heard you say that our entrance requirements were hogwash.
Oh, no, sir. I was just joking with the little nipper. Oh, he's a fine lad.
Well, the boy you mentioned must come in for a personal interview and take an entrance examination.
Oh, yes, sir. He's a fine lad, too. Oh, you'll like him, sir.
How old is he?
Well, he's kind of big for his age. Nice, tall, husky boy. Been to elementary school.
Oh, what is he, 9, 10?
Oh, no, he's not that tall. Maybe you'd like to take my word about him. Just go ahead and enroll him.
Bring him in.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Howdy, Miss Jane. Hear the news? Mr. Drysdale's getting me into the Havenhurst Military Academy.
Here you are, Jethro. Use my office to change your clothes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, congratulations, Chief. How did you do it?
Easy. The minute I walked into the commandant's office, I took charge. I didn't let him bluff me like he did you.
He seemed so stern, so forceful.
You know, you're like a lot of civilians, cowed by a uniform. But not me. I walked over to his desk, I picked up his nameplate, and I said, "See here, Hollis, let's get something straight." And he said, "But, sir." And I said, "You speak when I give you permission."
Gosh, that took a lot of courage.
Don't forget, I was in the Army myself for 4 years.
I can't wait to see Jethro in his uniform.
Oh, there's plenty of time for that. Have you been to lunch?
Oh, not yet.
Well, you better go now. Take an extra long one. Half hour.
Thank you.
Okay. But keep it to yourself. Ready, Jethro? Fine.
Mr. Drysdale, are you sure this is what I'm supposed to wear?
For the personal interview with Colonel Hollis, yes. Now, let's see you march the way I showed you.
Yes, sir.
That's it. Excellent. All right, let's go. Oh, you better put this around you before we get to Havenhurst.
Well, I'll be glad when I get my uniform. I sure don't feel much like a five-star general with this on.
All right, Jethro, you can straighten up now.
Thank you. My knees was killing me.
Mr. Drysdale, I'd like to see you alone.
I didn't know he was that big. Oh, he sure fooled me.
If you will, please.
Gee, I was embarrassed when I saw him wearing that outfit. But you know how it is. Some parents try to keep their children from growing up.
Someone should tell his they lost. Well, obviously, he doesn't fit the Havenhurst image.
Well, he could get used to marching like this. Well, how did he do in the entrance exam?
We didn't get that far. During the interview, it came out that his uncle's estate is located right here on this high ground overlooking Franklin Canyon.
Oh, yes, he owns 12 acres right along that ridge.
Perfect defensive terrain. Why, from this position, we could pin down their assault, counterattack on the flank, and save Beverly Hills.
Save Beverly Hills?
What? Lexington Military Academy. Every year we oppose them in tactical field exercises, and they've beaten us 9 years in a row.
Oh, I see.
But with the Clampett estate as our defensive perimeter, why, the referees would give us the victory on strategy alone.
That's very interesting.
Sit down, Drysdale. Let's talk.
No, you sit down. I'll talk. Now, see here, Hollis. Let's get something straight.
Sharp, double time, let's go! Come on, you guys, look sharp! Come on, Bodie, shape up! Turn, jump!
What'd he say?
Quiet in the ring!
Yes, sir.
Come on, Bodie! Come here, quick!
What is it, the soldiers come?
Yeah. Take a look at the size of them. They's a bunch of runts. Bodie! I said shoulder arms.
Well, I'm getting there.
Well, you Jethro would make 3 of any one of them.
Yeah. The Army must be awful hard up to take them that size. Hey! Bodie!
Yeah? Oh, you want me to turn around, huh?
If you don't mind.
No. Hey, Uncle Jed! Granny, look at me! I'm in the Army!
Bodie, you're at attention.
Well, that's my Uncle Jed and Granny. They live here.
Quiet!
Mr. Clampett, sir. Captain Hogan, commanding the 1st Squad Able Company.
Well, howdy, Captain. This here is Granny.
Ma'am?
How old are you, Sonny?
9.
9.
Well, almost. Has Colonel Hollis arrived, sir?
No, you're the first ones to get here.
Then I'll take charge and deploy my men along the defense perimeter. We're expecting the offensive to begin at exactly 1,500 hours.
Poor little fella. Ain't even old enough to tell time.
Jethro, is these real soldiers?
I'll say. We's gonna defend Beverly Hills against the Red Army.
Didn't you say?
Mr. Clampett, sir, I must ask you not to converse with my troops.
Well, I'm sorry, Captain, but my nephew here just told me that the Red Army is coming.
That's right, sir. All civilians will please stay out of the battle area. Look. Hey!
Well, excuse me, Captain, but, is this all the army you got?
No, sir. 2 more squads on the way. Port! Arms!
Well, excuse me again, Captain, but is the fellers in them other 2 squads any older?
No, sir. This is the senior squad. We're spearheading the defense. Double time. Hot! Hot!
Hey, something else? Hey, wait for me!
Granny, I don't know how much of that you heard, but Beverly Hills is in a heap of trouble.
I'm tired of passing out caps. I'm gonna do some shooting now.
Buddy!
What you want?
Come here.
Well, I ain't had a chance.
Quiet! You big meathead. You goof off once more and I'll bust you solo. You have to salute civilians. Do you read me, Bodie?
Well, I hear you, if that's what you mean.
Captain, sir, we got the Red Army on the run.
After the main counterattack. And you, Bodie, bring ammo on a double.
How's it going, Jethro? We got the whole Red Army on the run. Here, Uncle Jed, take my gun. I got to pass out ammo to the troops.
That dog is Granny. We don't have to worry about the U.S. Army. They is little but uncommon spunky.
What you mean?
Them young'uns is whipping the whole Red Army with nothing but cap guns.